tribe, how you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is the Real Housewives of Dubai, Season 1, Episode 11. So we pick up with the argument between Stanberry and Chanel. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm exhausted with all of it. Because Chanel, I like Chanel, but this whole season, and I agree with Stanberry on this one, this whole season, half of these arguments are started or disagreements are started because Chanel either doesn't understand what somebody is saying or she doesn't understand what somebody is saying. And I agree with Stanberry. I think she understands more than she pretends to understand, and she's just playing around so she can get away with being rude and get away with just saying what she wants to say. Now, she feels like Stanberry is coming for her and degrading her because she was asking, what do you do? And she was like, I keep telling you what I do, and I'm not going to keep repeating what I do to you. And she said, because I'm successful, I'm more successful than you are. In every way, she said. In every way. So, of course, Stansberry was like, you know what? I'm done with this. I tried to be nice to you. I wasn't coming for you. I wasn't being rude to you. And you just came at me. You know, she's one of... The other thing about Chanel is she's one of those people that if you hit her, like, if you tap her, she gonna punch you. So she goes for the jugular. And some people are cool with playing like that or fighting like that. But she goes for the jugular, right? So Stanberry's off to the side, and Caroline B goes after her to talk to her and try to calm her down. The rest of the ladies at the table, and Lisa is telling Chanel, listen, girl, you can't say that to people. Like, you can be upset and you can feel how you feel, but you start talking about, I'm more successful than you. She was like, but I am. She said, well, if you are, you don't have to say it. Because now you've elevated the argument to a place it doesn't have to go. So Nina ends up going over to Stansberry, and Stansberry's mad at Nina. She was like, oh, now you got something to say? She was like, you can't keep leaving me hanging. Like, I'm out here and I'm arguing and I'm by myself. And then you come over here now and you want to be like, yeah, girl, yeah, girl. No, I needed you to speak up for me over there. I needed you to have my back in the moment. Don't come over here now. And I kind of feel her on that one too. So Chanel ends up going over to try to apologize to Stansberry, and Stansberry was like, no, I'm good on that. Like, nope, I really don't have nothing to say. Now, listen, again, I'm with Stansberry on this one because, see, once I'm mad, I'm mad. Once I am mad, I am mad. We don't have nothing else to talk about. Give me a minute. I ain't saying I'm never going to speak to you again, but I'm going to say that for right now, this conversation is over. Because if I continue this conversation, then it is going to go somewhere that maybe neither one of us can come back from. So right now, I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to go in here and we're just going to... Okay? So, she ends up calling her husband and she's very upset and she's crying and she's very upset, right? Now the ladies are outside. The ladies actually end up having a good time outside. They're having hookah and they're kind of talking, and Lisa, Stansberry's in bed and the rest of them are outside still having a good time or whatever. So the next morning we all get up and we find out that Stansberry is moving. And so she was like, in hindsight, this probably wasn't the best time for me to plan a trip because literally I'm on the phone with my assistants and they're packing up my house to move into my temporary apartment until my house is being built. Until the house that I bought is finished being built. And it's just a lot going on. Like, I just got a lot going on right now. So then we see Lisa and Brooks talking, and they're basically talking about the situation with Stansberry and Chanel, and they're like, the two of them, like, basically they're talking about understanding why Chanel got upset, but the fact that she went for the jugular, and how the two of them really need to talk and try to figure it out. So we see Chanel on the phone with her husband, and she gets really upset. She said, I'm sick of trying to explain myself to everybody and trying to basically justify myself. And I think that the problem with Chanel is that there is the stereotype of the dumb model, right? It's that stereotype of you're just a model, that's it. And she was like, but I do so much more. Like, I am more than just a model, and I'm tired of feeling like I have to defend myself or I have to explain that about myself. And of course her husband says all the right things, makes her feel better or whatever. So Lisa and Brooks talk to Chanel, and they hear what she has to say, and they're trying to make her feel better, and they're letting her know, listen, just talk to her and explain how you feel. Explain that that when she questions what you do, you feel like she's lessening what you do and lessening the fact that you are a model and that you are very successful. Like, you're not just a model. Like, you have been on Vogue. Like, you are very successful. You are a supermodel. So then they had a sound bath. Child, I'm sick of these sound baths. Okay, they had a sound bath, and Brooks is allergic to bees. And Brooks actually saw a bee. She said, I do not have my EpiPen with me, and the last thing I need is to get stung. And so she could not enjoy the sound bath because she was too busy worried about getting stung by a bee, child. And while they are having the sound bath, who pulls up in a jet ski? Damn Stansberry's husband. Now, when I saw this in the previews, I said, Sergio just could not let her have a weekend by herself with the ladies. But now that I understand that the reason why he showed up is because his wife called him crying and upset, and he was like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go see my baby. Now, the minute he showed up, Chanel immediately got upset. And Chanel was like, so your husband gets to come and save the day and come and make you feel better. And I'm over here, once again, I'm over here looking crazy. They turned it into a whole black women gotta be strong, white women tears moment. Whatever. I'm not going down that road because I think both of them behave badly. So I'm not going to make it out to be that Chanel is innocent and Stansberry is not. Y'all can't be mad because Stansberry's husband came to check on his wife and Chanel's husband didn't. Like, I didn't understand that, turning it into a whole, black women always have to be stronger and black women always have to take the brunt of it. Like, I ain't understand that, child. But okay. Moving on. So they so Chanel tried to talk to Stansberry before they leave, and Stansberry is not here for it. She was like, listen, let's not do this, like, we're good. And Chanel tried to talk to her and, explain to her why it upset her and why it bothered her that she was, questioning what she does. And Stansberry was like, but that's not even what it was. Like, I was actually defending you. Like, she said, I wasn't putting you down. I wasn't trying to make you feel bad. Like, I was actually defending you. But you wouldn't even let me explain. You wouldn't let me get a word in. And you just made a decision about what I was doing. And you just went off the deep end. And then you said that I'm successful in every way. And she said, well, I wasn't saying, I wasn't talking about monetarily. I was just saying, because I do so much. Like, I'm successful. I take, I've been working my whole life, and I take care of my family, and I do this and I do that. And that's what I was talking about. And Stansberry was like, I get it. But at the end of the day, for you to say that you're more successful than me in every way, that's hurtful as well. Especially since all I was doing was defending you and trying to, uplift. We were having a sister, girl power moment. And I don't know what made you think that I was coming for you. She was like, you feel like I have the worst of intentions, and that's hurtful. That you feel like I'm just being negative and I have the worst intentions. That's very hurtful. So then Chanel was like, well, I didn't understand. I'm sorry if I misunderstood, and I apologize. And she was like, see, like, okay, whatever. And that's what she was saying later on when she was talking to Caroline B. She was like all of that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't understand. Like, no, you understand more than you think you do. Then you really do. Like, you can't use that as an excuse every time you go off on somebody and you go for the jugular. Because like she said, I just think you use it as an excuse to be rude to people. So then we see Lisa is packing up the house or unpacking the apartment that they've moved into. And they decide that Sergio needs to understand what it's like to carry your baby. So they done taped a watermelon and 2 cantaloupes to him and got him walking around like that. And just at that moment, that's how Caroline Brooks shows up. Now, Caroline Brooks was like, okay, see, I'm not laughing with y'all. I'm laughing at y'all because this is ridiculous. But okay. And her and Stansberry end up having a conversation. And she was like, listen, I'm just here to check on you. I haven't had a chance to talk to you since everything went down. And, she said everything I've basically already said about Chanel. And she said, see, like, Chanel didn't even thank me for the weekend. And, of course, y'all know Bravo. They showed 2 clips where Chanel thanked her for the weekend and thanked her for being a great host. So, come on now, Stansberry. Like, now you putting 20 on 10. Like, I'm with you to a certain extent, but now you putting 20 on 10. The woman did. Thank you, okay? So then Caroline Brooks is talking about how she thinks a lot of it goes back to Lisa. She said Lisa doesn't like Stansberry. And she feels like Lisa be putting a battery in Chanel's back to kind of go after Stansbury or kind of do her dirty work for her. And so she blames a lot of it on Lisa, right? But ultimately Stansbury's like, yeah, I'm just over it. Like, I'm done trying to make this a thing. I'm done trying to make this a friendship that's gonna work. Like, I can't. I'm done. So we see Sarah is taking Chanel to therapy, and it's I think like the hydrotherapy or whatever. And what we find out is we find out a lot more about Chanel's childhood, which was very, very traumatic. We found out that she was taken by her aunt at 5 years old and her sister at 6.5 years old, and they had the female circumcision. And you guys may have heard about it before. I remember Alice Walker wrote a book about it many, many years ago that brought a lot of attention to it. But it's a practice that they're really trying to get it stopped. But it still happens, especially in a lot of the more rural areas of some African countries. But she talked about the fact that her mother didn't even know that that's where her aunt was taking her, and how when she got ready to get married, she had to have surgery to have it undone, because basically it stops you from being able to have sex, and she was very emotional and crying, and she talked about the abuse that she suffered in her family as well. And it was a very emotional moment, and it was a different side of Chanel, but it also lets you know, listen, she's hard, and she's hard for a reason, and she's very sensitive about people judging her and people feeling a certain way about her for a reason. Like, these are things that have come from legitimate places in her world, right? That was pretty much the episode, child. Next week, well, not next week, but the next episode is the finale. I'm getting us caught up slowly but surely. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.